Welcome, welcome, welcome to my lovely IHP community and the 5D Collective. Let us begin with this type of content, like our other channeled guidances with the songs and the laid out stuff. I'm not going to be able to show you everything today, but while I'm beginning to talk to you, you can check out the community page on YouTube, and that way you can check out what cards, at least some of them. But we have a lovely bit of messages for those of you who are living and loving mindfully and spiritually as yourself, your inner child adult. So I'm going to read to you first, then we're going to continue the conversation as well. And if I have some time, I'll show some of the lovely cards. Number 1, your lovely feminine. So your body and heart, divine feminine, although I will call the right mode feminine and the left mode masculine, and the integrated brain, your mind, the divine masculine when you're working together. Left foot in, right foot in, and shake it all about, right? So you're using the inner growth mindset, dealing with unknowns, uncertainties, unwanteds from an open heart while going with the flow, the main modules of the inner growth mindset program. And with that, you get to be in the advanced neutrality and duality. So you have a whole self, the core, the narrative, relational, and solo self. They're yours. Your 1-year-old's yours. Your attached, panicky. Your 3 is yours. 3 to 7, shame, submissive. The freeze of all ages is yours, and the flight 11-12 is yours, and that is then the 14-15-16 fight is yours. So those are the child parts I got to learn from one of my courses from my teacher Sue Martin. I know when mine come up, they're not charged because I'm non-reactive, but if there are any charges from those child parts, I'll notice, and then I know how to recalibrate. Why? Because I'm an empowered divine feminine. That's why. So when you meet empowered divine feminines, we don't project. We use our ventral vagal state. And the individuals who think that we have no emotions, we are really great with them not noticing anything. No, it's basically because they don't have the capacity to own their 3-year-old. They could, they just don't want to. Okay, so they don't want to learn how to use their integrated brain, their prefrontal cortex. They're refusing EMDR, child parts work, somatics, and or sensory-motor, the good therapist, and they're in fact completely refusing to get that emotional body online. It's textbook. I distract myself, and I completely dissociate and or distance myself from anything that would lead me to getting to know my own inner world, because my 16-year-old is actually spiting my broken-hearted, shame, blame, fault, revenge, humiliated 3-year-old, because, well, reality is I'm reminded of scary, scary, scary shit, because my 3 years of life is implicit memory. And so any kind behavior, I'm going to say, liar, liar, pants on fire. No, not say it, just feel it. So people who are in 3D, 4D states of consciousness, we know that they have an opportunity, the free will to go to good therapy, but they also have the opportunity to follow people like the fancy woman and man in suit who want to continue to perpetuate shame, humiliation, revenge, and all of that survival mode stuff. Okay, so they get to do the, we don't want to rock, we are the champions, my friend, in a ventral vagal state. They want to do it in their teenage attitude, which is why we say, wow, not 3 times on this. No, we don't. We just say, hey, Pinocchio, see you later. I'm going to leave you on that island to do that stuff. Okay, so I'm going to get to reading for us these messages. You take what resonates, you leave what doesn't. And here we go. So your feminine has come alive, and as you continue moving along smoky rivers, you have a new set of eyes that know exactly how to gauge where you are going, what you are growing, and who, with as you manifest the future you envision for yourself. Pause. If you get lost, don't try to think through the words. Leave it alone. 2, if you get uncomfortable, pause me and write down whatever and do healthy self-soothing mechanisms. So happy music, whatever it is, to bring your nervous system to its ventral vagal. You want to get to your social engagement, okay? You want to be blissed out, at ease inside. That's what you do. You don't suppress it. You walk yourself through it with healthy mindset activities and healthy activities around you. No of eating, no of fucking business, drinking, drugging, none of that, which are substances. You want to organically have the ability to push yourself, choo-choo train that could, okay? That's one. Obviously, we all know it's imperfect, but if you're meaning to be yourself with integrity and flaws, then you're going to take a little bit of a push. And Remember, healthy self-worth people, so you can't heal trauma with unhealthy self-worth individuals. Stay away from negative and stupid people who have low self-esteem, unhealthy self-soothing mechanisms, so like the fancy woman in suit and man. You don't want people like them. People who vent, people who do negative, positive, anyone who doesn't know how to vibe in the frequency of enlightenment and love, who knows how to stay in the neutrality space, okay? That's something you want to remember, because one, they won't add or help you to calibrate because they're not calibrated in a ventral vagal state. Two, they're not going to help you process. So you want to process what comes up so that you can uncharge it. And then you'll, next time around, have the basic emotion flowing, the situation maybe, but that's how you uncharge stuff. Okay. And so yeah, if you get uncomfortable, they'll pause because something wants to be explored. Oh, and also, again, if you're getting lost, it's fine. If images, sensations, something comes up, write down 2 notes and notice that, because that's the more important. I'm just a vehicle. So the message is beautiful for me to share with you, but I know that what's important is that you take what resonates, you leave what doesn't. Any I don't like, I like, you write about it, you explore it for yourself, and you become that person who's expanding your own concepts, your own life, your own everything. Okay, good. Now, the compass of your heart. The compass of your heart leads your gaze and holds a life purpose significant to you, your loved ones, and your pursuit of living and loving with ease, mindfully. Your timeless soul has awakened to itself within your biological body thanks to your day-to-day inner growth mindset and mindfulness, self-aware, accountable, and regulating practices. Furthermore, living a life of meaning and connection in the true spirituality sense has also served you to embody more soul, the essence of life and love that your inner child adult holds and that you get to share with yourself, others, and the world. The ghosts of your past no longer haunt you, but rather they bring to you the wisdom of unconditional love and all-inclusiveness that can bring humanity together and carry expansion for humankind into the future in a way of bringing peace and ingenuity in these changing times. Thanks to you processing your past with an open heart and mind, welcoming all parts of you and forgiving your disowned parts, you are now whole and able to bring forth those parts from the shadows in a way that creates wisdom for others to be able and learn from, love, and share with others in their day-to-day life. So this is the feminine. We're going to get to the masculine in a minute. Let me share with you all the cards for the feminine, because we have 2 sets. So the first will be, well, actually the first is this, although this one is also part of your masculine, but the soul retrieval with the hummingbird, solidified with the jaguar. So you embodying that essence of the jaguar, which is your inner child adult. So you have all of your child parts, they're sleeping, and you take ownership, accountability, and regulation seriously. So if you get in any kind of Cusco shit going on, you're going to address it. You don't stay adaptive pattern. You do functional adult, inner child adult with people and all circumstances, because you're learning how to use that integrated brain and restorative embodiment self. You're the one who's wanting to live mindfully and spiritually, okay? So this is with the feminine. And what you also want to notice accompanies the feminine is this infinite spiral of you being able to consistently, thanks to your mind and body being restorative, expand and be an actual hunter and gatherer that respects the earth. And with that respect, you are able to play a sound with your thoughts, your voice, and your heart, that wind, that will make sure that our earth moves into the future with human beings knowing that we're not cursed. Being a person having emotions isn't a cursed journey, not at all. That's because you have your upper world, your prefrontal cortex, and your body. The body can involve our subconscious and conscious, meeting all now is aligned, okay? So the upper and lower worlds are connected because you have the capacity to embrace. So we're going to go to our masculine right now. You embrace that you have been consistently loved unconditionally, and you are lovable. This is the realization. So the masculine's path to spirituality awakening was brought about by a lot of unexpected events. But first of all, in this moment of time, the mind of yours is awakened to the purpose, your purpose and your wholeness, as again an unconditionally loved and lovable child of the earth. Let me grab that lovely earth. Of the earth, an infinite universe, which is why you are pursuing life as a mindfully and or spiritually awakened person or mystic. Some of you I know are mystics. Okay, 1 second as I organize things, because Pachamama is the earth welcoming every single one of her children, humans, animals, all. And that lovely circle, all of our lovely humanity, and you're close and extended. So the masculine's path to spirituality awakening was brought about by human conflict and emotional fire of unprocessed anger, injustice, frustrations, ego's blind spots. Ego's blind spots, water, when we're upset, from our lower world. If you have the upper world, then that's great, which is what we're having right now. Okay, we're having the capacity to feel, think, pause. And so the interpretation of humanity and mannerisms of processing the depth of emotions that arose alongside the fiery imprints of the words chosen to conceptualize all that was happening in his life, the masculine, so the mind. He chose to move beyond the conflicts and disruptions at hand in a way that would find resolution and harmony into tomorrow. So I will read that one again in a minute as I put away these cards. And we have, wow thing, na, 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 you make my heart sing. This is the open heart and open body, and the masculine being able to, so we have Dharma going on, because we no longer have projection reactivity. Okay, so you're knowing how to process fire and emotion, and as for the ghosts from the past, you're able to use the rain, the emotional plane, with the thoughts, because you are taming that wind to grow abundance, the inner growth mindset. So you have a conversation with yourself that involves neutrality and duality. If there's deep emotions, your ancestors keep bringing you the wisdom, so your past ghosts do not haunt you, because you don't have a family in the head that is an inner critic, outer critic. No shame, no blame, no fault, no revenge. The masculine knows how to stand still at the holy mountain, all of you. Okay, so your world is yours. I want you to understand, we're talking personal development here. And let me just organize this for a minute, in case I need to share again in our next episodes. And so again, that rattle is because of a sacred heart. Nobody needs to sacrifice anything. And the time, because you know how to pause. Use the beauty way, because you know how to use the inner growth mindset, is how we're going to talk about it here. It's neutrality and duality. Emotions come up. My 14-month-old isn't irrefutable facts. Okay, so I get to explore thoughts, emotions that arise from within me. And whenever something is coming up, you've had enough practice to be able and pause. It doesn't mean we get it right all the time. We all will have still things that can be charged. There's things that, words, past experiences, okay? So you're consistently expanding consciousness if you're tapping into the wholeness of you at this point with mindfulness, living and loving, and your relationships. So let me again read from the beginning so that we can have it flow nicely. Your masculine has awakened to his purpose and wholeness as an unconditionally loved and lovable child of the earth and infinite universe, which is why you are pursuing life as a mindfully and or spiritually awakened person or mystic. Your masculine's path to his spirituality awakening was brought about by human conflict and emotional fire of unprocessed anger, injustice, frustrations, egos, blind spots. With his interpretation of humanity and mannerisms of processing the depth of emotions that arose alongside the fiery imprints of the words chosen to conceptualize all that was happening in his life, he chose to move beyond the conflicts and disruptions at hand in a way that would find resolution and harmony into tomorrow. Thanks to not succumbing to defeat, hatred, shame, or regret, your masculine, the mind, so your mind, your thoughts, was able to connect to your feminine. That means the body, heart. And that's your inner child, your inner child adult. So, with the inner growth mindset and mindfulness approach, your lower world, the subconscious and unconscious, got to harmonize and sync with your upper world. And I showed those to you. But in case you're a visual person, we're going to do this again. So we got our lower, our subconscious and conscious, as I'm going to put it, and your upper, your conscious. And the reason you have this is because you're wild thing. You make my heart sing. But you're a wild thing with a hunter. So you're masculines and feminines. You have both energetic imprints. Again, remember, I call this divine feminine, divine masculine, masculine feminine, but just for my regular community, you're going to probably memorize this at a certain point. Because really, that one for sure. So I'm going to be sure you won't be wondering every time. If you're new, you get confused, just ask me. But again, it's not set in stone anywhere. Please remember that one. Okay, now let's continue. Before I continue, for this very specific message of fiery. So, the masculine, there's a card I was looking for. Which one was it? Yes, here we go. For smoke and mirrors, Smoky Bear, Smoky River, Alberta, Canada. Remember Smoky Bear? He taught children and still teaches children about wildfires and preventing them. So the masculine with, like, let's say a Dennis the Menace type of attitude, that blind spot, those blind spots of the egos. Okay, so learning about putting one's foot in one's mouth, and thanks to learning how to pause and be more mindfully aware, the masculine is a lot happier because he has learned, the mind of you, whoever it's resonating with, has learned how to stop bringing forth that Dennis the Menace kind of wild fires, how to spot when you're doing it. So if there's things that trigger, and to not bring it into the room, but instead to put the foot in the mouth and then process the emotion, not suppress it, process the fire with the water. Allow yourself to know, okay, this comes from my childhood, this comes from that dysregulation that I learned, this, wherever it comes from, you know your story. It comes from my 8-year-old. You don't have a story in the sense of a narrative. You have your human name. Use your human name. So it's, okay, this was my, again, the age, whatever and however it comes up, but it's the psych education. So we are actively relating consciousness and subconscious and anything that's coming up to your human story. And that's why you're taking ownership, mental, physical, and emotional mastery, and connecting more and more to Purusha, pure consciousness, to the embodiment of unconditional love that every person can be. And so again, Smoky River, also FYI, actually is called Peace River, for peace. So you have inner peace. Wildfire's been put out. You've also noticed what wildfires you've brought forth, how to prevent, and therefore that mind is really enjoying itself right now, and the body, because you're able to see above the fray like that eagle, and to harness all that comes up emotionally with an arrow that is spot on, because you own, witness, observe, witness, narrate your own sense of self, your solo self, your core narrative, relational, and you're not using a story of I'm right, you're wrong, I want to do this. You're using, okay, this shit is mine. Let's see what I can do. And hopefully you have people that you can chime that off with. And so let's say you do notice that you had an unkindness come up. This is when it's nice to have genuine relationships, because that's when you have a heart to heart and say, you know that thing that I said, that moment. So you'll know which moment, because your heart will tell you, I want to talk about it. So people who have empowered themselves as they do that, if they've done any of that wildfire business, so I'm doing spite on purpose, they go and make amends. And that's how they're all authentically healing people. I personally don't do spite, so I don't do I'm sorry in that way. I will be reactive sometimes, and it's only my mother and twin that I'm reactive with in a specific way. As for my friends, I have consistently expanded my relationships, and if anyone ever brings anything up, personally I'm able to acknowledge it, apologize, and then I recalibrate. Now, if it matches my way of doing life, then we're great. If it doesn't, then that's where we will have a chit chat. So, example, person, this was an acquaintance, and they're bringing to me that I can't speak in a specific way when we're talking. This isn't going to happen. I can't speak in a way that is not my way of speaking. And so they actively gave me a directive that in the moment, I'm like, okay, I can try my best because you've mentioned it, but I know this will not be something I will be inclined to do. And I'm not going to retrain my talking because you don't like it. That's not what friendship, that's not what a relationship is. I got a tail, Eric, and you accept that maybe when I come to the shore, I don't have it, but this is how the tail isn't going away. You see? So people who are empowered, FYI, they don't do this type of let me tell you how to talk. They don't censor each other. They don't, it's more of you're a piece of shit. Yeah, so are you. And we have fun together, but we appreciate embodied fully each other. Okay, so we don't do characterological distinctions or judgments. In fact, we don't cast stones. We love, accept, and respect each other with all the differences that arise. We have an appreciation, and we don't, again, use our likes and dislikes like children. This is something that you will know if you're here. I know I'm here, and I know when some people are here and when others are not. Okay, so continuing on with our masculine reading. Thanks to not succumbing to defeat, hatred, shame, or regret, your masculine, the mind, was able to connect to your feminine, the body and heart, and with an inner growth mindset and mindfulness approach, your lower world, the subconscious and unconscious, got harmonized and synced with your upper world, the conscious. Your masculine is ready to rumble and roll with a rattle that talks about the miracle of life, the sacredness of living from the heart with an open mind, of the time it took to get here, and how much easier and more pleasant it is to think and feel now that the mind knows how to pause thoughts and breathe through the heart when the body's feelings and sensations arise. So the time to use the thoughts and that which comes up, sacred heart, and rattle your grown up, inner child, adult, human stuff, okay? So you get to engage from a ventral vagal state. Your masculine, feminine harmonization, an open, safe, secure, attached mind, heart, body, and mindfully self-aware, accountable, and regulating person made your spirituality awakening possible. You didn't lose people. You got to become more of you. And with flaws, but also integrity, you get to do interactions and recognize healthy self-worth people, and then the ones who are doing 3D, 4D, and we leave the unhealthy, self-soothing, unhealthy, self-worth people to do their thing because Pacha doesn't have to lecture Cusco. You are now ready for a life of Dharma since your mind, heart, body are open to transmuting all that arises from fire to brimstone, calm or high seas, from your prefrontal cortex thanks to mindful self-awareness, accountability, and regulation skills. From a place of silence, you stand from within your mind, heart, body, access the wisdom of your ego self. I say masculine, feminine, but again, these aren't fixed in stone. It's just a way for you to understand it all comes together as partners in crime, or better said, partners in love, that have the capacity to pause, reflect, see the bigger picture, and then engage with self, others, and the world and life. So good fortune and abundance lie ahead for your loved ones and humanity. Your harmonized 5D state will continue to have you learn to tame the wind. Wait. I have to share because this is how it came through as I was writing, but to tame the wind, which are the thoughts that come from the mind, and the rain that come from, and the rain would be the emotions, although we know there's fire, right? Rain could be the tears. Surprise, that would be, I don't know, you think happiness, disgust, so, but you get the drift. So rain, the water, emotions, that comes from the heart, alongside let's see. No, this is where, so remember, this one's abundance. You get to share that abundance with all. Alongside the fire, passion, purpose, life's meaning, motivation that is lit from within you with love and the ancient wisdom of your ancestors accompanying you every step of the way, ensuring the benefit of all accompanies, so that anything you're doing, any of those endeavors that you're pursuing, that it will accompany benefiting all people and beyond, this lifetime and beyond. So I'll reread that one. That is lit from within you with love and the ancient wisdom of your ancestors accompanying you every step of the way, ensuring the benefit of all accompanies the endeavors you pursue mindfully in this lifetime and beyond. So that is what came through for you all. And again, you take what resonates, you leave what doesn't. We'll be back with another episode in a little bit. And I thank you all for, again, stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe. If you do know somebody that you think this might resonate with, let them know of the episode. Also, let them know that this type of content is for our lovely paid subscription-based model content tiers once they're out on YouTube. And as for the continuation, it will be alongside our mindfulness, living and loving 5D way, but I haven't decided which stories to share, so we'll be back though shortly